The storm hit without mercy. Rain hammered the cracked asphalt like bullets, each drop exploding on impact. Thunder tore through the sky, rattling Noah Carter's chest as he killed his truck's engine. Through the streaked windshield, he saw a black luxury sedan buried axle-deep in mud, its hazard lights blinking like a distress signal. He checked his phone. 8:52 a.m. His job interview started in 8 minutes. But the woman stumbling out of that sedan wasn't going anywhere. Her designer heels sank into the muck with each desperate step. Her gray coat, probably worth more than his rent, was already ruined. She looked furious, helpless, alone. Noah's hand hovered over the ignition key. Then he opened the door and stepped into the storm. Before we dive deeper into this life-changing moment, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. And if you believe kindness can change everything, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next. Let's continue. No, 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 this can't be happening. The woman yanked at her heel, trapped in thick mud. Water pooled around her ankles, staining her expensive stockings. Her dark hair clung to her face, mascara bleeding at the corners of her eyes. She was shaking not just from cold, but from the kind of rage that comes when control slips away. Noah splashed toward her, rain soaking through his flannel shirt. "You're going to break an ankle doing that." She spun around, startled. Her eyes swept over him, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing clothes that had seen better years. A working man, a stranger. "I'm fine," she snapped, tugging harder at her shoe. "No, you're not." He crouched down, gripped her heel, and wrenched it free with one sharp pull. He handed it to her without meeting her eyes. "Get in your car. I'll handle this." "You don't even know me." "Don't need to." He was already walking back to his truck. "You're stuck. I've got chains." She watched him, this man who looked like he'd walked straight out of a construction site, as he reversed his battered pickup toward her sedan. The truck was older than some marriages, rust eating at the fenders, paint faded to a dull green. But when he hooked the chain to her bumper, his movements were precise, confident. The engine roared, the chain went taut, and with a wet, sucking sound, her sedan lurched free from the mud. By the time she climbed back into her car, shivering and drenched, he was already walking away. Something twisted in her chest. "Wait," she called, rolling down her window. He stopped but didn't turn. "You're soaked. Take this." She held out $100 bill. Finally, he looked at her. His jaw tightened. "Keep it. I'm already late." "Late for what?" He paused, rain dripping from the brim of his cap. A job interview. Then he walked away, boots splashing through rising water, disappearing into the gray curtain of rain. Noah's hands gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles went white. 9:17 a.m. He'd missed it. The interview he'd prepared for, rehearsed for, needed time so desperately gone. Traffic was gridlocked 3 blocks from the office. A wreck up ahead. The rain had turned every street into a river. By the time he reached the high-rise building, it was 9:58. The receptionist barely glanced at him. "They've moved on to the next candidate." "Can I?" "The hiring manager's schedule is full. You can reapply in 6 months." 6 months. He couldn't survive 6 times, weeks times, without steady work. His son needed new shoes. The rent was 2 weeks overdue. Bills covered his kitchen table like snow. "Thank you," he managed, his voice hollow. Outside, the rain had softened to a drizzle, but Noah felt colder now than he had in that flooded road. He shoved his hands in his pockets and started the long walk back to his truck. Halfway there, a sleek black SUV pulled up beside him. The window slid down. It was her. "You missed it, didn't you?" Her voice was different now, softer, more certain. Noah stopped walking. "Yeah, but you got out, so worth it." She studied him for a long moment, her gaze sharp and measuring. Then she leaned back slightly. "Get in." "What?" "Get in the car. I owe you more than dry shoes." Something in her tone, calm, decisive, like someone used to being obeyed, made him open the door and climb inside before he could think better of it. The interior smelled like expensive leather and rain. She sat beside him, perfectly composed now, a folder stamped with a silver logo resting on her lap. "I'm Claire Dalton," she said, "CEO of Dalton Tech." The name hit him like a punch. Dalton Tech, the company he'd just been turned away from. Noah stared at her. "You're the CEO?" "Last I checked." Her lips curved slightly. "And unless I'm mistaken, you were heading to an interview at my company this morning." "Yeah. And I missed it because you stopped to help me." She tilted her head. "Most people would have driven past, or taken my money, and left. But you didn't." The SUV climbed toward a cluster of glass towers above the city. Noah had only ever seen this district from a distance, usually while delivering packages or hauling scrap metal for extra cash. Now he was inside it, watching his reflection slide across mirrored windows. "I read your file," Claire said suddenly. "My file?" She tapped the folder. "Marine Corps veteran, 2 commendations for bravery, small business owner, volunteer at a community shelter. You're not just qualified, you're resourceful. But HR said you'd never make it past the formal process. Too rough around the edges." His stomach sank. And they were right. "That's the flaw in the system," she replied. "The wrong people decide who gets a shot. I prefer to see for myself." Her gaze softened. "And this morning, I did." The SUV descended into a private garage beneath the tallest tower. As the doors closed behind them, Claire stood and looked at him directly. "You've got one chance to prove yourself, Mr. Carter. Not in 6 months. Right now." He raised an eyebrow. "What's the catch?" "No catch, just a problem no one else has been able to solve." She stepped toward the elevator. "You helped me out of the mud. Let's see if you can do the same for my company." The top floor was chaos. Phones rang nonstop. Employees rushed past carrying stacks of papers, their faces pale and tense. A massive digital screen flashed "System failure," angry red letters. Claire didn't break stride. "Conference room, now." Inside, 3 senior executives sat around a long table covered in laptops and documents. One man, gray-haired and sweating, blurted out, "Claire, the distribution tracking system crashed last night. We've got shipments in 6 states unaccounted for. If we don't restore it today, we're looking at millions in penalties." "And lost clients," another added grimly. 3 have already called to threaten termination." Claire dropped into her chair. "So fix it." The gray-haired man's voice faltered. "Our IT lead says it could take a week, maybe longer." Noah shifted, his eyes scanning the diagrams on the table. He recognized the layout immediately. "This is your logistics dashboard," he said. The room turned toward him. "You know it?" Claire's eyes narrowed. "I've seen systems like it. Used one in the Marines for supply drops, and in my shop for parts distribution." He moved closer. "Your servers aren't down, they're misaligned. You've got the right pieces, just the wrong picture on the box." A younger employee snorted. "And you've figured this out by looking at it?" Noah's voice stayed steady. "I've spent most of my life keeping things running with half the parts and no time. This isn't magic. It's pattern recognition." Claire leaned back. "Show me." Noah rolled up his sleeves and pulled a laptop toward him. His fingers moved quickly, pulling up diagnostic logs, bypassing flashy interfaces to get to raw data. The room went silent, except for the clicking keys. He was focused now, methodical, precise, almost forgetting where he was. 40 minutes later, the red warning on the screen blinked out. "System restored." The gray-haired man exhaled in disbelief. "How? That should have taken days, asterisk." Noah closed the laptop. "You were looking for the problem in the wrong place." Claire's lips curved into a small, approving smile. "Mr. Carter, I think you just saved us a fortune." In her private office, floor-to-ceiling glass overlooking the rain-soaked city, Claire closed the door behind them. "I want you here," she said simply. "Head of logistics operations. 6 figures. Full benefits. Room to grow." Noah stared at her. "You don't even know if I'm..." I know enough. Her voice was firm. You put a stranger ahead of yourself this morning. You walked into a problem everyone said would take a week and solved it in less than an hour. And you didn't take my money when you could have. His throat tightened. 6 figures is more than I've ever made in my life. Then start imagining it. He thought of his son. New shoes. A real bed. No more counting pennies for groceries. The thought blurred his vision for a moment. Claire extended her hand. Do you want the job? He let out a slow breath. Yeah, I do. Good. Welcome to Dalton Tech. When Noah left her office an hour later, contract in hand, the rain had stopped. The city streets shimmered under a weak silver sun. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel stuck in the mud. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more stories that prove kindness always comes back around. What would you have done in Noah's situation? Let us know in the comments below.